Let's see. What it do, baby? NetworkBruh is in the building. Today's lab is lab number 39, page 169 in the book. If y'all want to get started, we got S Smooth and Gonzalo from the Fat Finger Squad. If y'all want to get ahead of the game, go ahead and page 169 of the book. Y'all already know what the book is. Tired of sounding like a broken record to y'all. But some people might be new, and I let them know where we working from. While my little bruh is taking forever, I need a new phone. If anybody want to donate there. Today's lab, again, is configuring and hopefully configuring static routing via interfaces. Right? That's today's lab? Let me make sure that. Yep, because the last lab we did was configuring a wireless access point with that generic ass wireless controller or wireless LAN controller. Configuring a wireless LAN controller was last lab. And what is going on with this thing, man? Bring the screen up. Say less. I'm with you there. Can't wait to see you. Yeah, man, for sure. So I don't have my daughter this weekend. She got like family and stuff coming to town, so she gonna be with mom. So I said, you know what? Guess what? I'm a lab all weekend, man. What kind of life do I got, right? That I'm labbing. Well, you know what? There's a whole ass panoramic out there, and I try to limit my activity outdoors. So you know what it is. Knicks and the Nets playing tonight. Clippers, I guess they losing. Damn, I got a slow ass phone, man. Come on, man. So there's a new version of GNS3. Do I want to download it? Not right now, because I'm live streaming, you guys. Who else we got? I guess we got a couple people in here, not in the chat room. They just kind of lurking in the background there, but it's all good though. I see you. Thank you for tuning in. We only need 2 routers, a switch. We're going to configure some loopbacks, I believe, on the router. We got a couple VLANs on the switch there. So while y'all get started, hopefully GNS3 decides to play nicely with me today. Y'all know I got a love-hate relationship with this application. And looks like I can drag and drop those guys. So 2 routers and a switch. I'm going to get some labeling here for y'all real quick. We'll get started around 8:10. Hopefully, we'll get all this labeled up and cabled up. Labeled up and cabled up. Bars. How y'all doing today, man? What y'all do this weekend? What I do? I did, I spent time with my daughter. Y'all know how I do. Trying to be a good dad, you know. We made some finger puppets. She wanted to make some damn finger puppets. And I was like, all right, well, if you don't give me a hard time or brushing your teeth, we'll get some finger puppets done. And guess what? I had a call out. I had a call out that day too. So we had some switches go down, Meraki cameras go down. I had to go out there and take care of that, man. Took care of it and then came back and made some finger puppets, man. She made a pig. So we're going to go from FA00 to FA01 on that one, but I only got gigabit Ethernet ports, or as my man Ease would say, I've got gigabougie ports. So GI01. Y'all know I'm bougie like that with my gigabit ports here. Then I'm going to go from 02 to 00 on this bad boy, right? So 02. Come on, man. Wake up. All right. 02 to 00 on that bad boy like that. Get the labeling there so y'all can see what labels I got. Take this bad boy off. Label this bad boy switch 1. SW1. Can't check your video. Y'all can't see. Can y'all see my video? Can y'all see my sound? Or am I streaming well? Y'all know my computer be acting up, man. We got Plant-Based Brother in the building. What's going on, Plant-Based Brother? So this switch 1, right? And then for those of you guys that are just tuning in for the first time, we get these labs from this book called 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. It's probably like one of my favorite books that are out right now. Y'all know I do a lot of technical reading. I don't read novels and damn short stories and shit like that. I'm a technical reader. I like reading technical books and lab manuals and stuff like that. You can get a copy of this book from 101labs.net, or you can go, there's a link in the description box below. It takes you to an Amazon link to get the book. You can get it shipped fast on Amazon Prime. Plus, it's an affiliate link, so I get a little cut from that if you do get the book. Experts agree that we retain only 10% of what we read, but 90% of what we do. That's why I love this book, because it gives us something to follow along and get our hands dirty with the theory we read from the OCG manual, or official cert guide, right? We can see the video, but can't see you unless it's by design. Oh, you know what? Forgot to turn the camera on. My bad, y'all. It's like I'm having a bad hair day. I can't let y'all see me today. Good looks. Appreciate that, S Smooth. Let me get this fan on because I'm a little hot. It's getting hot in here. But no, that was not by design. Y'all know I like to show my face. Some YouTubers don't like to show their face, you know, but it is what it is. I'm one of those YouTubers that like to show my face and my expressions and you know, throw my middle finger up, whatever, you know, just do some funny stuff. Anyway, so we got our two routers. We got our switch. They said, do we get to our tasks yet? Not quite. Let me get some address labeling here, and then if you want to get the information on the loopbacks, you're going to have to follow along, because I can't copy too much stuff from this book or else I'll get a copyright strike, right? So we got London on the track. The IP addressing here, right? Let's get the label here. Yeah, my bad about that, S Smooth. I had the camera off. I turned it off when I played that little intro music, right? And I forgot to turn it back on. They got a /19 subnet. They trying to throw us off today. That's gonna be our pop quiz. What is a /19 in subnet mask, right? So that is gonna be the interface for that. We're gonna duplicate this bad boy and make the bottom ones 2732.2. So he's gonna be 32. Let me put the subnet mask right there. I mean the address right there. Let's do this. Let's put the address right here. Stay consistent here, right? And then y'all don't let me do any typos. Y'all find any mistakes. Y'all know I'm not perfect. And once we're done, we verify it. After that, we're gonna verify it. And when you're done with that, verify it again. And guess what? My supervisor was drilling me with that today too. We had to turn up some port channels, and he made me like do so much verifying till I was blue in the face. But I see why he do it. There's a method to his madness, man. Always got to verify. We found some mistakes, man. We definitely found some configuration mistakes, and it's a good thing. We have until like Wednesday to find to finish this subnet merger is what we were doing. Hello, NetworkBruh. What's up, Danielle Williams? We got Nikhil Manjamuth. What's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. Damn, I missed your last 2 live sessions. When do you actually live lab? We'll keep reminders. Well, if you look at my channel, there is a, you just click the live, I believe it's live or streams or whatever, and it'll show you the upcoming live streams coming up. Typically, actually, it's on my banner. It tells you Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure what time it is in your country or whatever, but typically that's what I do. Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But this weekend, I'm going to do some labbing. So I'm going to do some more streaming. Typically, I don't do Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, but I'm going to do it this weekend. So, and as Danielle says, verify. She even had to verify because she had some work done in the apartment, and I told her to go ahead and verify it. She had to do that too. So that is applicable in real life. See, I told you, Danielle. But anyways, so we got our IP addressing. We got our cabling done. We are 10 minutes into the stream, waiting for a couple people to come in. I was doing a CCNP lab earlier today, and all I could hear was your voice in my head say, dude, I'm telling you, plant-based brother, once you even just configure an interface, do a show run real quick, or show run on that specific interface to see if you've done it, and verify as you go along. You're going to be saving time. Yes, it might be taking you a couple seconds to do the show run and then blah, 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 and then show whatever CDP neighbors or whatever show command you got to do. But you know what? Later on, it's going to save you some time troubleshooting, as we might do today. If I mess this up, y'all see, I'm going to have to do some troubleshooting. So hopefully we don't get any troubleshooting or don't have to do any troubleshooting today. Troubleshooting is a gift and a curse, because if we find something wrong and we see some errors pop up, we'll remember, okay, and we fix it, we'll remember, oh, that's how we fixed it. But if things go smoothly and we don't see that error, then, you know, that's something we might, that's a learning opportunity we'll miss, right? So cabling, address, I guess we can move on with the show. We got enough people logged in or tuned in here. As I said, Monday through Thursday, Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Y'all run me with that like button, man. Y'all, the more y'all hit these like buttons, the more people, you know, it helps with the algorithm for this channel, and the more people will discover this channel. We'll definitely keep that in mind and try to join as many live classes as possible. It's IST, so it'll be 5 in the morning for me. So, oh man, I'm sorry, Nikhil. You know what? I thought about doing some live streams at 5 in the morning, but I'm not that sharp in the morning. Let's say that. But what I do is exercise in the morning, so that gets me going. So I do get up at 5 in the morning to exercise, believe it or not. So, all right. So lab objective is to configure static routes via Ethernet interfaces connected to a switch on 2 routers. This lab also goes through the validation of the configured static routes. If y'all know anything about static routes, right? Static routes is basically a route that you configured manually, right? You've done it manually, as opposed to a dynamic route, which was learned dynamically, or it just learned it by itself. So it's kind of like done automatically and on the fly. So if you got a route to one network and it goes down, dynamic routes will allow you to automatically look for another route, right? Whereas static routes, they are statically configured. It's always the same way. It's always one way to get to the city, right? Or I always compare roads, the networking to roads and highways and stuff. If you only got one way to get there, if that road gets blocked off, you ain't got no way to get there, right? Whereas a dynamic route would be kind of like, how do I say, just multiple ways to get somewhere, if that makes any sense. And it always changes. So kind of like what Google Maps does, right? If you got, let's say we got traffic going on one way, Google Maps would be like, hey, it's quicker if you go this way. That's what dynamic routing does, right? So, whereas today we're doing static routes, right? No issues, bro. Whenever I miss the live classes, I go through the stream videos. Thanks for a contribution. Man, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you for tuning in. I appreciate all my subscribers and stuff like that. You guys really help me out. And guess what? I got in a letter today. My Google AdSense letter. So, yes, if you guys let the ads play and stuff like that, I do get some paid. I do get paid, right? But, you know, that's the beauty of live streaming and YouTubing and stuff like that. You can make some money on the side and stuff like that. That's what I love about it. So, lab purpose. Static route configuration is a fundamental skill. There are several methods to configure static routes. Each way has its pros and cons. So, here's another pop quiz for y'all. Static routes. What is the administrative distance for a static route? You guys know what that is? Go ahead and put it in the live chat right there. First one that gets it gets a free bruh. I ain't doing giveaways just yet. I did a giveaway a couple videos back, or a while back, but yeah, I will do some more. I'll do some more in the future. So I guess I could power these bad boys on, right? Please use the following topology. Configure, or task 1. We have how many tasks? We have only 4 tasks today. Let's try to knock this out in an hour, right? Even though the book says, the old book said something else. They used to tell you how long it should take you and the difficulty in the old version of this book, but they don't do that no more. They took that out. Probably to take, save some text. Otherwise, the book will be way thicker. So let's go ahead and power all these bad boys on. Hopefully my laptop don't explode or lose the stream on y'all. Plant-based brother said 1 is the administrative distance for a static route, and that is correct. That is correct. 1, because 0 is for a connected route, so it's physically connected. That's the best route. Like, the lower the administrative distance, if you guys know anything about administrative distance, the better the route is. So I kind of like to think of administrative distance as kind of like the shortest way to get somewhere. You can also use that with metric. So like, remember, I always compare roads to networking and highways, right? Or I always compare networking to roads and highways. So if you got 3 ways to get your mama house, right? The one that has the shortest way would be the one that has the lowest administrative distance. So think of administrative distance kind of like mileage, if that makes any sense, right? I thought it was 0, but 1 sounds right. Brendan, that's true. I sometimes used to get those confused. That's why I had to think about it for a second. So 0 is for connected routes, and that's the best route that you could have because it's physically connected to you. You have a cable that's connected to it. Whereas a static route, it was manually configured, on the computer by the administrator. So that's why it's 1. So 0 for connected because it's physically, like, ain't no way quicker than a physical cable connected to the other router or the other network, right? 1 is for static routes, And then I believe it's like, what, 5 for BGP or something? I know 5 is 20 is BGP. I think external BGP for 20, and then 110 for OS or 110 for OSPF routes, 120 for 120 for RIP routes, 90 for EIGRP routes, and then the higher it goes, then the worse it is. So the best route you can have is a connected route because it's a physical cable that's connected. So like this right here, we're gonna have like this right here will be an administrative distance of 0. So matter of fact, we'll console in and check it out. Let's console in the router 1, and then router 2, and then switch 1. Console. So yeah, if you guys can't make the live stream, y'all can play it back on my channel. So 5 for EIGRP. It's actually 90 for EIGRP, but that's 90 internally, right? 5 for EIGRP if it is a... I'll have to look that up. But yes, I believe it's 5 for EIGRP, but not... It's actually 90 for the external EIGRP. But let's double check that while these routers and switches are booting up here. So administrative distance chart. And then we've got... So it's EIGRP summary route is 5. So let me bring this over for y'all to see. Right? Boom, right there. So 0 for connected interface. It's a physical cable. You can't get any faster than that, right? Or better than that. Then static route is 1. EIGRP or summary route is 5, right? And then eBGP is 20, 90, and then the lower you go, the further, the worse it is or whatever. Hold on for a second, y'all. Y'all got to give me just a second. Hold on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have to call him back. Because... Yeah, let me call him back because I don't want to interrupt this streaming and stuff. What a teacher answering phone in class and stuff like that, right? Hello? Yeah, what's up, baby? So let's see here. 5 for either B. So yeah, those were the administrative distances. I don't want to go too off on that. So task 1 was to configure the host names, which I believe they already are, right? So let's do this. Router 1 that's router 1. And then let me text him back. That's what I'll do. Router 2 is router 2. So the host names are already configured there, right? So I ain't got to do that. That was task 1. Task 2, configure switch 1 as a VTP server and configure VLAN 10 named static. Assign ports FA01 and FA02 to this VLAN. But y'all know I got gigabougie ports. So we going to name gigabit 01, 02 in those VLANs. So y'all know, we already know, I said it a million times, that the switch is already going to be a VTP server, right? Since that's out of the box, right? We can verify that with what? And notice I'm verifying, right? Before I even do anything, right? So VTP server, it's already in VTP server mode, right? Could you please let us know the difference between summary route and normal EIGRP? So summary route is, let's say, it's kind of like an average number of routes, if that makes any sense. That's my way of explaining it. So if you got, let's say you got 6 ways to get somewhere, right? Or six networks to get somewhere, right? So you got a way to get to the .6 network, the .7 network, the .8, .9, .10 networks, right? The summary route is going to kind of like come up with one route to get to all of those 5 networks, right? But it's got to be somewhere in the middle. So if you got .5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, most likely the summary route is going to be like right in the middle. So it's going to be like .8. So 192, 168, 100.8 will be kind of like your summary route. So you got 5 ways to get to these 5 different networks, but the summary route will be like one way to get to all them networks, if that make any sense. Whereas, what else you wanted to know? Normal EIGRP. So normal EIGRP is, there's no summary route for EIGRP, but you can make summary routes. By default, if you learn an EIGRP route, the administrative distance will be 90. A summary route, the administrative distance will be 5. EIGRP summary route. So I hope that answers your question, Nikhil. So we verified it's VTP server mode, right? They said they want us to configure VLAN 10. Y'all with me so far? Any other questions? Good question, Nikhil. So VLAN 10, right? And we're gonna name him static is what they said. Don't know why we're doing this, but I guess I'll see. They didn't say interface VLAN 10. They said they wanted us a layer 2, right? Once we're done with that, we verify it, show VLAN brief, and we got VLAN 10 named static. And they said they wanted us to put ports 1 and 2 in this VLAN. So we're gonna put gig 01 and gig 02 in those ports, right? So we're gonna put that port in VLANs. We're gonna put this port and that port in VLAN 10. Y'all with me so far? So configure terminal, right? Interface. We'll do a range, right? So GI 01 through 2. We're gonna say switch port, access, VLAN 10, right? And let's do access. We'll hardcode it as an access port, right? Switch port mode, access, right? And then let me let him know. Y'all give me just a second here. All right. Okay, so we did the VLAN. We put the 2 ports in the VLAN. Let's verify our work, right? Show VLAN brief. We put gigabits 01 and 02 in VLAN 10, named static, right? So I think we're done with task 2. We only got 4 tasks, right? So we're 50% complete. Task 3 says configure IP addresses, which was this one right here, 172.27.32.1/19 and 32.2 on routers 1 and 2 FA00 interfaces, right? So we got to basically create that interface and that interface IP addressing there. That's what we got to do, right? And then in addition, configure the loopback interfaces on router 1 with the IP addresses listed in the topology. So that's going to be in the book. You can follow along. Like I said, I can't put too much stuff on this screen because I'll get a copyright strike. And YouTube ain't finna get me again. Y'all know they already violated me before. So, and it wasn't even for a copyright strike. I just try to be careful as much as I can. Should you change the VTP version? Should you? That depends on what you want to do. It don't even matter at this point because we only got one switch. To version 2 maybe. Well, what version do I got? Let's see. That's a good question, Plant-Based Brother. The difference between the two, let's see, show VTP version. No, you just do show VTP status. And then you'll see the version. Right now we are running version 1. So it really don't matter. They didn't ask us to do it, but we could do that to be fancy schmancy if that's what you're trying to do, Plant-Based Brother. But I don't like to add too many tasks. I like to follow this stuff to a T. So yes, we can change it. The only difference between the two, I believe one is more secure and the other one is less secure, right? I'm not even too sure. So if somebody want to point out what's the difference between VTP version 1 and version 2, I believe one allows you to use passwords, right? And the other one doesn't. No, because we're running version 1 and we can put passwords for sure. I don't know, but there's differences between the two versions. Can't remember what, and I ain't got time for that right now. So let's go ahead and configure these interfaces right here, right? This FA00 and that FA00 on those routers, those respective routers. Y'all with me so far? Anybody lost or interface tunnel? Interface FA00. The IP address is 172. Let me move this out of the way so y'all can see. Anybody has any other questions? IP address 172.27.27.32. Don't let me make any mistakes, y'all. 32.1. The subnet mask is /19, which is 255.255, right? That should give us 16 and then plus 3. So we got to do 128, 192, 224. Correct me if I'm wrong if that's a subnet mask, right? So 224.0, right? 224.0. Yeah, because 240 would have been /20. So Once you do that, you got to no shut that, right? Because remember, routers by default, they go down. So if you do show IP interface brief, we'll see he is admin down, right? So we need to bring it up. We got to turn it up manually, right? So turn up, no shut. I'm Ike. Turn up, turn up. So now it's up, right? We do a show IP interface brief. Remember, verify, and then when you're done, verify it again. Exclude unassigned, right? So we're up 32.1, and then we could also do show IP interface FA00, so that way we could see our subnet mask. So yes, it was /19. I was correct with that. So it's gonna be 224 on the third octet, right? So we're done with that. We're gonna go to router 2 and configure this interface right here, right? And remember, once we get past this book, or once we get to maybe the latter half of this book, I'm not going to be doing this easy configuring IP addressing and VLAN. I'm going to do all this stuff before I start live streaming. So get all the people that's learning all this stuff now, and then, you know, we'll get past all this homework, easy homework stuff right here. So configure terminal interface FA00, right? And then we said IP address is going to be 172. What was he? Come on, man. 2732.2. He's 32.1, right? Yeah, so 32.2. So 172.27.32.2. 255.255.224.0 is the IP address. No shut. And when you're done with that, verify it. Show IP interface brief. Once you're done with that, verify it again. And after you verify it again. 32.2. We'll check the subnet mask with show IP interface FA00, and we'll see we got a /19. So we're good. We're good to go there. Okay, so we did the IP addressing. That was task number. We're still on task 3. In addition, configure the loopback interfaces on router 1 with the IP addresses listed in the topology. So basically, what they kind of like making us do is kind of like adding extra hosts. So we have other stuff to ping to test our connectivity and our static routes, right? So we're going to go to router 1 and configure loopback 100, 101, and 102. And the IP addresses are 172.100.1.1, 0.1, and 5.1. And there's different subnet masks. I'm not going to like list all that stuff on here because, like I said, I don't want no copyright strike. Just follow along if you ain't got the book. So router 1. Global config mode, right? Interface loopback 100. IP address is going to be 172.100. Y'all notice the loopback came up already, 1.1, and then it's /32, so 255.255.255.255, right? So we ain't got to worry about that guy. We're going to say interface loopback 101. The IP address for that guy is 172.101.0.1. Subnet mask of /29, so 255.255.255. It's not 240, but 248. So 248, right? Let's verify that, right? So show IP interface brief. Let's just do exclude unassigned so we can see what I got. So no, I don't want to do that because I want to say show IP interface loop 101, right? And then do so that way I can see that. I want to make sure I get the subnet mask correct, which in this case is /29. So yes, I was right there. And then we want to say interface loop back. Y'all with me so far? 102. IP address is, this is the last loopback address, 172.5.1, and he says /17 subnet, so that should be 128. So 128.0. Y'all with me so far? Anybody got any questions? Remember, there's no such thing as a dumb question. If y'all lost, we got a lot of smart brothers, a lot of smart sisters in that chat room there. Show IP interface brief, and let's just do unassigned and verify our work, right? So 172.100.10 1.1, and then 0.1, and then 5.1, but we got to check our subnet masks, right? So I'll just like to do show IP interface loopback 100, which was a /32. That's correct. And then 101, which was /101 is right here. /29. That's correct. 0.1 /29. And then 102 is, yeah, what I'm doing. See what I'm doing, right? I'm just verifying my work. That's all I'm doing right here. /17. So yes, I was correct on that subnet mask. Okay, so now we've done our loopback. So that was task 3. Last task, final task right here. I believe we got to do static routes on this one. So in addition, configure the loopback addresses. That's what we did. Task 4, configure static routes via the FA00 interface on router 2. So we're going to go to router 2. To all the subnets configured in the loopback addresses configured on router 1. So basically, we're going to be on router 2, right? We're going to create a static route to one of those loopbacks, and then another static route to the second loopback, and then another static route from router 2 to the third loopback, like that. That make any sense? Y'all with me so far? So that's all we doing. Remember I said what about static routes, right? Static route is basically a route that you manually configured, and it's only one way to get there, right? Whereas a dynamic route like OSPF or BGP or well, not BGP, that wouldn't really be one. OSPF or EIGRP, those would be considered dynamic routes because you learning routes dynamically, kind of like on the fly. So if you got one route that goes down, you still got another way to get there if there is one, or it just learns it when from another router. So that's why they're called dynamic, because they learn it dynamically. They just kind of like learn it, as opposed to a manual static route. You statically configured it on the router. So they want us to create 3 static routes to get there, basically, right? So it's kind of like the GPS. No, I take that back. It was not like a GPS. It's kind of like using a physical map, and you only see one way to get there, right? Whereas a GPS, if you got traffic, the GPS will tell you, oh, you know what, you can go this way. Or it'll tell you, there's an accident right here. Go to this way. That's what dynamic routes do. So it's kind of like a GPS versus a map that only show you one way to get there, and you don't know. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. Task 4, configure static route. All right, so we're gonna create a configure static route. So we're gonna go to router 2. We're gonna go to global config mode, and we're gonna say the syntax to create a static route is, what's the network you're trying to get to, its subnet mask, and what we're doing is via interfaces, and then which interface you can get there. So with router 2, we only got one way in and out, right? This interface right here, this physical interface right here, FA00. So that's the only way we can get out of our router 2, right? So that's the interface we're going to do. So again, the syntax is IP route, the network you're trying to get there, its subnet mask, and then the exiting interface, which in this case will be FA00, right? Y'all with me so far? So we're going to go to router 2, and then IP routes, and then he said they wanted a static route to all the subnets. So in this case, now they said they subnet, and they didn't say the exact IP address. This is going to be a tricky one. I think we're going to put the exact IP address for this, though. So let me see. Y'all remember, I didn't do this lab. I'm just kind of like doing it on the fly with y'all. Figure static routes via that to all the subnets configured on the loopback addresses. Okay, so the loopback addresses. So we're going to say IP routes 0.0.0.0. No, I'm sorry. What am I doing? We're going to say to get to 172.100.1.1, subnet mask of 255.255.255.255. Believe they wanted us to do. Right? Should be. Yep, because that's the exact. So basically, we're going. Remember those loopbacks that we did on there, right? So we're gonna say IP route, the network, which in this case that loopback address, that first loopback address, which was where they at? Where they at though? Let me do this so y'all can see them all, right there. We're gonna create a static route to that guy, this guy, and that guy. So back to router 2. I believe that was it. And then after that, you're going to say, okay, well, how do you get there? You can put the next hop address, or you can put the exiting interface. This lab calls for the exiting interface, which in this case, we only got one way to exit out this router, FA00, right? So we say FA00, GS, what the hell is going on here? 00, and that's it. We can verify our static route with show IP route. Remember, verify, 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 right? So now we got a static route to that network. It's directly connected to FA00, right? So the thing about static routes is you'll see an S next to it, right? You'll also see, if you see what that S means in this legend right here, S means it's a static route, as opposed to a RIP route, or as opposed to a BGP route, where these are what we call dynamic routes, right? So that's the difference between a static route and a dynamic route. So they also wanted us to do another one for the other network, which in this case was that guy right there. But don't forget the subnet mask, right? So we said IP route to this network, 172.0.1, and then he said the subnet mask was /29. So just for y'all to give y'all a little bruh right there. What's going on here? Don't die on me now. Y'all imagine if it dies on me like midstream. 20 minutes to full charge. All right, we good. So 255.255. What did we say it was? I forgot, man. /29. So 255.255. I said it just earlier, man. What's going on with me, man? Am I ready to go to bed? 248.0. No, my bad. Yes, 248.248. Just like that. Oh, and you got to do the exit interface, right? 00. Inconsistent. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I got that subnet mask wrong. That's why. Fat Finger Squad in the building. I put the same damn network. We wanted to do 172.101.0.1. Oh, let's see. What was the first one? What was the first one? The first one was, let me make sure I did that right, 101.1.1/32. That's correct. This one is 172.101.0.1. You know why I don't like this one? Because this is a class B subnet. However, they're giving us a different subnet mask to work with. I think is the problem here. I like this, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. 248. Yeah, I did that right. So that subnet mask got to be correct, but it does not like. It says inconsistent, and I think it's because we're using different subnet class with a different subnet mask. Where this should be like a slash. You know what? I think we got to do either no. What's that command to allow you to use any subnet mask with any class? There's a command that you got to do to make this work, and the book didn't even ask us or didn't even give us that little caveat there. So let's see here. 172.101. I did that correctly. .0.1 subnet mask of, right? Because this would have been 8, right? And that's 16 is 24, and then we wanted a /29 subnet, which would have been 248, right? Let's verify that with the other guy. So this subnet mask right here. So we're trying to create a static route to this network right here, and he don't like that. He don't like that what we put there so far. So then I guess use 255. You could do that, but I'm just trying to make it so that way we're following the book to a T. And I think there's a command that you do to allow us to use that. But that's a good suggestion, Pete. So let's see here. Let me make sure I got that subnet mask correct. So 101, right? So IP interface. So we said /29. Yes. So it is /29, which is what we put. 100.0.1. And to get there was FA00. And that's what we said. Yep. So, and when we do that, he don't like this right here. So he didn't like that. And I think if you change the subnet mask too, you can cause an overlap, but let's do this. You said you wanted that exact one. So use 255. Let's try that. But I don't know, man. You know what? I'm gonna go to the solution. Here's another reason why I like this book. If we don't know what the hell we doing, there is a solution, right? In this lab guide, right? So and I don't want to fudge it up for y'all or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna front for y'all, right? We're gonna go to solution guide to see what they did to allow that to happen. And let's see here. It says here by default 250. Yep, that's exactly what they put. They put exactly what we put. No, they did not. They put the network address. So they put 100.0.0 and not the exact address. So that's why they put. Okay, now I see why they did that. Okay. So what we had to do here is we're creating a static route to the network and not the exact IP address, if that makes any sense. If you know anything about network addresses versus the first host versus the last host and the broadcast address and stuff like that, what we want to do is create a static route to the network and not the exact interface or exact IP address of that loopback, if that makes any sense. We did it last time because it was a /32, so it was the exact address. So we got to put 0.0, and that's the reason why I took it. I hope I explained that right. I don't know if I explained that right or not, but we're creating a static route to the network address. And I believe we got to do the same thing for the next one as well. So let's see. The next one was on router 1, those loopbacks was 102. So the network address for this one should be the 5.0 network. Because what's the subnet mask? The subnet mask was /17. So then it should be the 5.0 network, I believe. Let me make sure though. Every 17 networks. No, not every 17 networks. It'll be every 128 networks. So it's 5.1. So this is the 5.0 network. Yep. So so it's going to be the 5.0 network on the other one. But we're going to do this. It's 102.5.0. And then the subnet mask is /17. So /17 should be 255.128.0. And then the exiting interface was FA00. Does that make any sense, you guys? Let me see. Let me see what you said. Then I guess U255 is IP. Yes, IP subnet 0 was the one I was thinking of. You're correct, Pete. You're early, bro. No, actually, I started that right at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think you're referring to the no auto summary. You know what? Both Pete and Danny, I was thinking of both of those commands, but really I think I was looking for IP subnet 0. However, that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to do the a route to that network, which basically what we had to do was just that network. I don't even know how to explain that. If you know anything about the subnetting, so like you have the network address, right? And then you have the first IP address, then you have the last host, and then you have the broadcast address, and then the next network address, right? So when we're creating static routes, we have to create static route to the network address. The first one took because it was the exact IP address, /32. For the iOS, to not get confused. Okay, yes. So, yeah, Pete, I was thinking of IP subnet 0. However, I don't think this lab called for us to do that. They just wanted us to make sure I just needed to get my subnetting correct and remember that. So, yeah, you fixed the first issue anyway. Yes, I did. So now this is the third route, right? Does this third command make any sense to you guys, right? So remember the syntax is IP route. the network you're trying to get to. So 172.102.5.0 is the network. The subnet mask for that network. So in this case, it was a slash, what, 17? Yeah, slash 17. So 355.128.0. And then the exiting interface, which in this case, there's only one way out of this router is FA00, right? We press enter. It didn't like that one. So it's not the subnet. So let's see what we got to do here. What is the network for? Is it 102.5.0? Let me make sure. I got to do some subnetting in my head here. Trying to do it without the book, y'all. So the network address for this slash, so it's going to be the magic number in this case would be, so it's 128, right? So we said 5.1. Yeah, so 5.0 would be the first subnet. I mean, first network will be the network. I would think 5.0 slash 17. Yeah, that's what I thought. But let's see what the book say. The book say, oh, it's 0.0. Oh, my God. See, I got to work on my subnetting, y'all. It's actually 0.0 is the network. I got to figure that out. Why is it not 17? I mean, slash 17, I would have thought. Yeah, so, okay, so 0.0. I need to work on my subnetting, you guys. See, and this is why I like live streaming. So anyways, does that make any sense? The network address is actually 0.0 and not 5.0. So, got to get my subnetting up. Press enter and see it took it that time. So, let's check our routes. Show IP route. And we have a network. See, I got to work on my subnetting, you guys. So, that is the network address that we just fixed right there. Right, 102.0.0. That's that network. For this network, that's why they tricked us too. Because they created these funky subnet masks to kind of throw us off too. So this actually sits in the 102.0.0 network. I guess I was, I'm so used to working with /24, and it's easy to subnet with /24. You would automatically know it's 5.0 network, but that's why they threw us off with those funky subnet masks inside their notation. So the network address for this right here is 172.102.0.0. So, and then the next network would be, I believe, let me see, so it's every 128. So it would be 102.128.0. If that make any sense. Right, 102? Yeah, 103.128.0, I believe. I don't know. So Route 2. So we got routes to all of these guys right here, basically now. And then what else they wanted us to do? Verify your static route configuration with appropriate commands. Ping each loopback interface configured. So now we go back to router 1. They basically want us to ping that loopback address, this loopback address, and this loopback address. And if they come back, theoretically they should, being that we've got routes to all of them, all those networks right there, right? Because we statically configured them, as you can see. And then, let's see, from ping each configured on router 1 from router 2. And that's it, basically. That's the final task, is to basically ping all of those guys. Pray to the network gods and see if we can ping 1.1 from router 2. So basically we're going to be on router 2 and ping the loopback on router 1. Right? That loopback. So ping that guy. If not, we'll have to do some troubleshooting. Oh, and it worked. So it did work on that guy. And it will go to router 1. That was super quick too, as y'all can see. That loopback. Right? So basically we're going to ping. Oh, no, don't reload. No. Okay. So can y'all imagine if that mug would have rebooted right midstream? So router 2 has to ping the second loopback on that address, right? On that router. So ping that guy. No, I'm on the same router. What the hell am I doing? Router 2 has to ping this guy, and look like he is not working. So he dropped that first route. He didn't have an ARP entry in it, so that's why it dropped that first ping. We could try it again, and it worked that time, right? And then lastly, the third loopback on router 1 which was this guy right here, right? So router 2 is going to ping that loopback, which is loopback 102 on that router, router 1, 172.102.5.1. Ping that guy. Come on, pray to the network guys, and we got to reply. So we'll send another ping just to get it for completion, and we got it good to go. One thing I learned is that I need to step my subnetting game up again, because you know, sometimes you just kind of forget those subnet masks and that's why they kind of threw me off with those subnet masks, to kind of like throw you off, because you're not going to always work with /24, /16, /8, which are like perfectly subnetted, right? So that's why they gave us these odd numbers right here, /19, /19. They gave us /17, /29. Those are kind of like those off the wall subnet masks. So one thing that you could do, which I haven't used in a long time, which obviously I need to learn how to continue to start doing again, is an app called Practice Subnetting. I have it for Android. God forbid you got an iPhone. I believe you can get it for that too, but it's a great way to practice subnetting in your head. I need to start doing this again, obviously, so that way I ain't messing up these live streams, right? It gets you, it throws random IP addresses for you, and you got to figure out the CIDR notation of it. You got to figure out the subnet mask, the IP class, the magic number, if you know anything about magic numbers, the subnet ID, which I needed in this case. I needed to know what the subnet network address was for me to configure those static routes correctly. And then it quizzes you on what's the first host, last host, etc., etc. And it's a great app, great tool. There's also like other websites that you can do them, and they can quiz you on there. So obviously I need to start doing that more often, because you know, you tend to forget them. You know, at work you'll use a subnet calculator. I can't even remember. You know, only reason why I start remembering this is because I do these live streams and stuff like that. I don't do subnetting every day at work. So if you guys want to follow along next time, get you a copy of this book, 101 Labs, Cisco CCNA version 4. You can get a copy of this from 101labs.net. It's authored by Paul Browning, who he was in law enforcement for like several years, and then he broke off and started doing IT, and he opened his own training company and authors these books with this guy named Farad Tafa, who is a 2-time CCIE. They're both great writers. I also realized that Paul Browning, he also writes other books that are not technical too. So like he has like family books and stuff like that. So, you know, I like the way this guy thinks and stuff like that. So anyways, experts agree that we retain only 10% of what we read, but 90% of what we do. So that's why I love this book, because it gives us something to do hands-on. You know, you could read theory all day long, but it's not until you start doing stuff hands-on. Like in this case, I don't subnet every day. Obviously, I need to step my subnetting game up. So, you know, books like this and labs like this, it helps me retain this kind of memory, or this kind of knowledge, and work it, because it's kind of like a muscle, man. If you don't exercise, you just running out of breath and stuff like that, man. So you gotta exercise that brain. But anyways, Gonzalo said he hates subnetting. So do I, bro. I mean, I like it when I actually get it right and look smart. But when I'm over here trying to figure out the subnet mask and looking like a damn idiot trying to show y'all, that's when I hate subnetting. But do you have to work with wicked subnet masks in your job, or do you have well-designed networks? Pete, we have well-designed networks. I wouldn't call it well-designed. It's just that they use subnet masks that are easier to work with. And but the problem with that is you can waste IP addressing if you're just constantly just using 20/24 or /16 or you know what I mean? You'll be wasting IP addresses. That's why typically most companies, when they're creating subnets, they use /24, because it's the right amount of hosts that you will have in a network, right? 254 hosts. Like, what are the chances of you going over that? And if you do go over that, just create another subnet. If you go past 512 and 120, you know, 1028 or whatever the next number is, right? They'll become bigger broadcast domains, and it's just like your network will be too slow. So that's why you have to have, like, most networks are usually /24, because it's the right amount of subnets. You know, I'm not gonna say you're not gonna go over 254, but it's usually the right amount of hosts that you need in a subnet. So yes, where do I work? Can't tell you all that, but I do work in education as a network engineer. Anybody else have any questions or anything like that? We typically lab Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But this week, I'm going to be labbing all weekend. So catch up, y'all. I'm going to be labbing up until like, I'm not going to miss a day until probably like next Friday. So if you guys check on my channel, you'll see live streams already queued up for the next labs. So make sure y'all get y'all subnetting. I'm going to try to use my app to make sure I get this subnetting correctly done for y'all next time. And that's pretty much it, man. Leave me a comment down below if you like what you see so far. You know, hit me with that like button. Share these videos on your, social media networks and let them know that NetworkBruh makes this stuff fun. And I'm trying to bring all you guys along with me. We're doing all the easy stuff right now. This is typically, let's see, this lab, what was this one? The old book used to tell you the difficulties for these labs, right? The difficulty levels for these labs. This new book don't do that, but the old one says that this lab that we did, which was configuring static routes via interfaces, was considered a difficulty rating out of 5 out of 10. So about halfway there, right? But they get harder and harder as we go along through this book. So make sure y'all join along as we're going doing the easy stuff here, man. So for now, comment, like, subscribe to the network.